Greetings. It's July 26, 2024. And for those of you in the main area, you probably know this, but last year was a massive year for pine cones. And let's see, I don't think there's still any left. Actually, there's some left in that one right there. Um, but huge amounts of cones. And so this area here is next to the house, and I uh, basically did a fairly large French drain to try to get water away from the basement. And what I found a couple weeks ago, it's covered in pine trees. So literally, there are pine trees everywhere, and I need to kind of weed this because if you don't, the crabgrass and the sorrel will stick, take over, and it'll soon be green rather than an area that will drain water well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig these up with a trowel, little at a time. It rained the last couple days, and they're not starving for moisture, and which would definitely put them at a disadvantage in a transplant situation. So I'm not going to do too many today. I've got to work tonight, and it's early afternoon or late morning, and I need to go get a little bit of a nap. But I'll probably do 20 to 50, somewhere in that area, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Okay, so I got about 20 to 30 of them, I guess, and I don't have any delusion that these are all going to live. Um, but I also wanted to show you what happens when these seeds just go down into the soil and into the underbrush, and you can't really pick out the tree when it's this small. So these trees here are, I, I've been looking at these for 2 or 3 years, so I'm guessing they're probably 4 years old. Maybe that taller one is 5 years old. Um, and there's another one down there. You can see. So these are pines, and there's all kinds of them. And I need to come in here and dig these up. They dig up very easily. They're nothing like a hardwood. And speaking of hardwoods, look what's right behind it. So this is a red oak. That is a hickory, and so is that. Those are rough bark hickories, and that is an ash. So this is what, if you want to keep this stuff cleaned up, you can cull some of those out. You could dig them up, transplant them. I have done some of that. It is the hardwoods. It's very labor intensive because they have a long, deep taproot, as opposed to the pine, which has three roots that go off in different angles, and all you have to do is cut those three roots and up, and you just pop it out of the ground. So here's some more oaks, and that's how you get a forest. And there's a pine there that's a little older, and an oak, and I got all kinds of crabapple trees in here. And this is the other side of where I took that tree out for that sustainable harvesting and logging video that I will link to in this video. So now I'll show you where I'm going to plant these. This is what I was describing. Um, these don't go down deep, they go off to the side. And that's why pine trees are more prone to wind damage and being blown over. So this is where they're going to go. This is what is known as Field 5 on my farm, and I have recently tilled this up with the idea of doing just what I'm doing now. And this, the left section, and the right section I tilled up much. I've kind of kept it tilled, and I recently planted some organic buckwheat seed. So that's what you see coming up there, which I will probably just mow and then rototill in once it gets to be a foot high or so. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll just start a row here, and I'll just generally follow where I to the left of what I've left or is remaining of the weeds there. And there is a couple of trees there. That's why I didn't finish that up. So, and I'll show you that when I'm done. All right, so here's those ones that I planted. And I planted them about 8 inches apart, which is about 20 centimeters. I have no doubt that many of these will pass away, but if I left them up there, they would all pass away. And I've probably, this has been 25-30 minutes for me to do this, and I've got about 20 feet. Again, I will continue to do that as time permits in my schedule. It's not that difficult to do, and this is a little bit different than I think how the state gets pines. My father and I visited a nursery, the Seedling place up in Oleman, Maine, back in the 70s, and that's where these pines that you see there, there's one, most of them are gone now. That's where those came from, and they were all planted by machine when the tree was probably 2 to 3 years old. So, hope this is informative. Trying to be sustainable, trying to utilize this land as best as possible, and keep working it. So thanks for watching. If you like this content, please like and share it, and give it a thumbs up.